Hello and welcome to our For Every Bird a Nest online art science workshop. My name is Nicola Hemmings. I am a researcher at the University of Sheffield in the Department of Animal and Plant Sciences, and my work focuses on birds and their eggs. And I'm really interested in the behavioural ecology of birds, specifically in their reproductive behaviour, and I study these kinds of things in the context of conservation. And as you can see, I work in a range of different ways out in the field, in the lab, and so on. And it's a really varied and interesting role. Now, in today's workshop, we're going to be exploring how a bird perceives the world. And we're going to be trying to imagine ourselves as birds and thinking about the world through the lens of a bird's eyes. And we're going to start the workshop with one of the first most important phases of a bird's reproductive cycle, and that is finding a mate. And we're going to be thinking specifically about bird communication, how they communicate with each other, because this is so important for the establishment and strengthening of bonds with their mate during the start of the breeding season. We're then going to move on to a workshop, to an exercise that focuses on the production of birds' eggs. And you can see these are some beautiful oyster catcher eggs here in this picture. And we're going to be thinking about what it takes to produce an egg and thinking about the adaptations of eggs and why they are so crucial for their successful hatching. And then in the third exercise, we'll be moving on to think about the challenging and in some cases dangerous phase of the breeding cycle, where the baby chick hatches out of the egg and faces the world for the first time. In each section of the workshop, I'm going to talk a little bit about the biology, and then Judith Tucker, who will introduce herself in a minute, will talk a little bit about the art exercise that we will be doing, and Harriet Tarlo will talk about a writing exercise linked to the workshop as well. We would really like it if you could complete our online participant questionnaire after this workshop. We're really interested in learning about what you really enjoy about these workshops, what you think could be improved. So please go onto the website after you've completed the exercises and let us know what you think.
Hello, I'm Harriet Tarlo and I'm a poet and academic based at Sheffield Hallam University. I've been writing radical landscape poetry now for many years, and I've also been working extensively and collaboratively with Judith Tucker. So she and I are working together on this workshop. We have a walking practice and an art practice, and we produce artist books and exhibitions together. And we're very interested in the relationship between word and image. So in these workshops, even though, as Nicola said, we're going to offer you writing alternatives and art alternatives, if you want to respond collaboratively, we'd love that. And we will be asking people who participate in these workshops to actually send work into us. And we'd love to see what you produce. So this is just an example of a couple of artist books of ours. So we're really excited to be working with Nicola, because you can't be a landscape poet or artist in this day and age without being concerned about the environment and without wanting to know more about it. So we are interested in environmentalism as well as interested in landscape and place and space. So working with Nicola has expanded our knowledge of the more than human world. And we think this combination of art and science that we're doing today will help expand yours as well. So we're going to talk about nests today, and was very excited to find this book by the poet Tom Powell and the artist Hugh Bryden called Nest, and these are just 3 images from it. And I just wanted to put these out there at the very beginning of the workshop, because they're really about the ideas of absence and presence in relation to the nest. And we're going to be inviting you to think empathetically about nests and to think about nests as home and as about space making, but also to think about the dangers of abandonment and the risk that birds take when they make a nest. And I think these poems, just 3 little examples from this longer book, really give a sense of that. So on the top right there, where you put your hands into your house, a bird puts its breast, its beating heart. That invites us, by the combination of the idea of the house and the nest together, to think about a nest as a home. And then we go down to unravel a nest, notate what you find, the lines will play like water or wind. And that encourages us to think about a nest as part of a much bigger environmental network, as part of a landscape or a place. And then that last poignant image with no eggs, absence makes a nest heartless, I think draws our attention to our fears really of extinction, and some of the things that Nicola's going to be talking about later in terms of endangered birds in this area.
Hi, I'm Judith Tucker, and I'm the visual art part of the trio. And as Harriet says, we've been working together for many years, and quite a few of those years have actually been here on the Humberston Fitties, where we're having that as our focus for the whole project. The whole For Every Bird a Nest project is here. And what you can see here is that Fitties originally meant salt marshes, but on these photographs you can't see the salt marshes. They're now under these rather eccentric chalets, which I've painted and Harriet's written poetry about for several years. Now, what's really interesting about running the workshop here is that we're on the very border of Tetney Marsh, RSPB, SSSI, Bird Reserve, and then this endangered, in a way, also endangered plotland, where people have holidayed, working class people have holidayed since the middle and early part of the last century. So there's a lovely parallel here between the houses that people make and the nests that the birds are making here on the salt marsh.